Good afternoon, welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. The headlines. Zambia's Chinese debt higher than projected by the PF. HH confident of meeting 70% COVID vaccination target amid skepticism. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the Midday News in detail. The Zambia National Service, ZNS, has charged that the service, through its military discipline, has the capacity to undertake several national construction projects at a minimal cost than what is being spent on the private contractor. Speaking at the ZNS Unit Commandants Conference held in Lusaka Thursday, ZNS Commandant Lieutenant General Maliti Solochi says there is a proven record to support the assertion, as the service has already undertaken construction works across the country. The Lieutenant General has since appealed to the Minister of Defense, Ambrose Lufuma, to speak on behalf of the service, both in Parliament and to the Cabinet, so as to allow service that can attract and develop the required support system to help it deliver an ambitious national program. And Minister of Defense has assured the service of government support in all progressive activities which the service will undertake.
The Zambia National Service, ZNS, has continued to be a strategic partner in bringing development in the country, and this is evidenced by a number of activities the service has undertaken in the past, such as the construction of the ultra-modern intercity bus terminal and the modern city market in Livingstone. While the service has the capacity to undertake several national construction projects at a minimal cost to the Treasury, their engagement in developmental activities in the country have been so inadequate, and the service now wants government to engage them more often. This came to light during the ZNS Unit Commandant Conference held in Lusaka Thursday.
Sir, we are of a strong view that the service, through its military discipline, has the capability to undertake several national construction projects at minimal cost to the Treasury. This is in sharp contrast to what has been spent on private contractors in the past.
The Lieutenant General adds that the service has the capacity to create jobs for the local people, especially the youths, provided the service is well supported.
We can only appeal to you, our dear ministers, sir, to become our ambassadors, both in Parliament and Cabinet, so that we promptly attract and develop the required support system to help us deliver on this ambitious national program. It must also be realized that the cry by the Zambian youths has mostly revolved around the lack of employment in the country.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Defense, Ambrose Lufuma, says the service is a preferred vehicle through which the unemployed youths can be trained in entrepreneurship skills that will enable them to set up their own business entities.
The service is the preferred vehicle through which the unemployed youths should be trained in entrepreneurial skills that will enable them set up their own business entities. As government, we will ensure that a conducive environment is created for all such business ventures to thrive.
The minister has since informed the service that government is aware of their capabilities and says government will support the service in all progressive activities which they intend to undertake. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The latest update on existing Zambia's Chinese debt stock has validated the position that some stakeholders, the Patriotic Front administration, understated the country's debt position. Last month, the China-Africa Research Initiative has estimated from an analysis of loan data that Zambia's debt to Chinese public and private lenders is at 6.6 billion United States, among us double the amount disclosed by the previous government. The previous government, led by Edgar Lungu, said Zambia's China debt stood at $3.4 billion United States dollars. Presenting a ministerial statement in Parliament Thursday, Vice President Mutale Nalumango disclosed that Chinese debt stands at $5.75 billion United States dollars, amongst equivalent to findings by China-Africa Research Initiative. Earlier this week, Minister of Finance Tumbeko Mstokotwane revealed that the total external debt stood at $14.48 billion United States dollars, but assured to provide consolidated figures. And Mrs. Nalumango informed the House that Zambia's overall debt stock stands at $14.67 billion United States dollars.
I now would like to specifically address the issue of the Chinese debt. That has drawn a lot of interest in the local and international media, including the recently published report by China-Africa Research Institute, CARI. As I indicated, the total publicly granted and non-granted external debt stock is $14.67 billion as at end of June 2021. Of this amount, $5.75 billion US dollars is owed to Chinese creditors. The breakdown of this is $4.27 billion US dollars owed by central government to Chinese creditors. $1.34 billion US dollars is owed by state-owned enterprises, including ZESCO, on facilities guaranteed by central government, while the balance of $139.60 million US dollars is owed by ZESCO on the Chinese facilities that were not guaranteed by central government. Of course, debt metrics change from quarter to quarter.
The United Party for National Development Alliance Media Director Tabo Kawana has advised Lumezi independent lawmaker Muna Zulu not to entangle senior government officials as he politics. Addressing the media Thursday, Mr. Kawana has expressed disappointment at the behavior of the youthful lawmaker who questions the Secretary to the Cabinet on the importation of COVID-19 vaccination. According to Mr. Kawana, Mr. Zulu is privileged to be on the floor of Parliament and easily ask questions to the Minister responsible for health. He has since urged the lawmaker to be responsible and provide proper checks and balances and not disparage other people to gain political mileage.
In politics, name-calling is usually a daily thing. Despite various stakeholders calling for issue-based politics for the public to benefit, nothing much seems to change. Recently, Lumezi independent member of parliament, Monia Zulu, released a video statement where he released some information relating to misuse of public funds involving Secretary to the Cabinet, Dr. Simon Miti.
It was Dr. Simon Miti to clarify as to how that vaccine entered the country, because as citizens, we are now skeptical to trust which vaccine we can be administering. Dr. Miti chose to keep quiet as Secretary to Cabinet. And it's not me who said that Dr. Miti is a criminal. For the record, there is a judgment in the Henry Kapoko's case. Judge Zenobet Zulu ruled that Dr. Miti should be arrested.
In response to this, United Party for National Development Alliance Media Director Tabo Kawana has advised Mr. Zulu to use the floor of Parliament to ask pertinent issues that will benefit the nation than disrespecting senior government officials.
No way you're going to ask the Secretary to Cabinet about vaccines. Even if at the time they were brought in, there was no cabinet. Why ask the Secretary to Cabinet? Government is government. Whether at the time the vaccines came in, there was cabinet or not, that question is still rightfully directed to the Minister of Health, who will give an answer. Besides, over that issue when Zamra destroyed those vaccines, the permanent secretary, Dr. Malama, and the Minister of Health had given a statement. So why do we see this kind of arrangement, which looks like there's a personal vendetta from him to the Secretary to Cabinet. And that should not be played out in public, and he mustn't try to demean a senior officer such as the Secretary to Cabinet in public. Because I heard him say the man is a criminal, he's linked to Kapoko case. Munia must be careful.
The UPND Alliance Media Director adds that Dr. Simon Miti should be commended instead of being vilified.
Dr. Miti, for starters, if you must know, is the whistleblower in the Kapoko case. Dr. Miti is a star witness in the Kapoko case. This nation must be grateful to a person like Dr. Miti, who was a state witness that convicted the people that stole money meant for the people of Zambia. So if a person like that, who was not charged together with the accused, he was never interviewed by the law enforcement agencies as in warned or cautioned, he was never arrested and never suspected. Why would you want to vilify such a person? Who is Mr. Zulu to try and vilify a senior official like the Secretary to Cabinet and say, no, he's criminal, he doesn't need to be there?
Meanwhile, Mr. Kawana has noted with concern the levels at which public resources were misused as cited in the Auditor's General Report of 2020.
We want to urge our law enforcement agencies to follow up these matters that are in the Auditor General's report. At the time people begin to appear before the Public Accounts Committee, if the police can also be there, not necessarily to appear, but they can appear to be there, to ensure that as cases are coming up and those that interest the police take them up, those that interest DEC takes them up, those that interest SEC takes them up. This is an opportunity that we must put an end to this kind of criminality.
Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has labeled being vaccinated against COVID-19 as a matter of urgency for all Zambian citizens. Speaking during the relaunch of the COVID-19 vaccination campaign at OIDC Sports Development Center in Lusaka Thursday, President Hichilema has called on all Zambians to take responsibility in fighting against COVID-19 pandemic by getting vaccinated. The president says government has set a target to have at least 70% of the population vaccinated and that this must be done to save lives in the economy. And Health Minister Silva Masebo says the Ministry of Health is taking appropriate measures to ensure the country is ready for a possible outbreak of a fourth wave by increasing the response capacity of the country. Meanwhile, United Nations Development Programme UNDP resident coordinator Kambagodia said vaccines have been proven to be safe and that countries that have rolled out massive vaccination programs have seen a reduction in the number of COVID-19 cases.
Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has revised upwards the COVID-19 vaccination target from 30% to 70% by December 2021 in order to protect citizens from the COVID-19 and overall safeguard the local economy. At the moment, of the 8.4 million people targeted to be vaccinated against COVID-19, only 3.8% have been immunized. The vaccination campaign is expected to serve as a catch-up campaign and get the country one step closer to its new target. The president has since employed citizens to emulate him by getting vaccinated.
And so that you and others around you, it's very, very important that we take full control in fighting this coronavirus pandemic, this deadly pandemic, something we've never seen before. This is a matter of urgency, and it's indeed a matter of life or death. It can't be both. It's a matter of life or death. We do the right things, we respect science, and take the necessary measures, we survive, we live. We don't do it, someone will die. Could be you. Choice is loud and big, and I think we must choose that by acting correctly to bring under control this pandemic. We therefore ought to rejuvenate our COVID-19 vaccination campaign, which is highly necessary.
And Health Minister Silva Masevo says the ministry is taking appropriate measures to ensure that the country is prepared for a possible fourth wave.
We are ready for a possible fourth wave of the pandemic in a multi-sectorial manner. We are increasing our capacity to respond across the various program areas of our preparedness, surveillance, and response plan. Your Excellency, the COVID-19 vaccination program is a key intervention in our response. However, as you have reminded us on many times,
Meanwhile, United Nations Development Program Resident Coordinator says vaccines have proven to be safe.
Growth and jobs and welcoming large numbers of tourists again. Your Excellency, through a remarkable scientific and logistical effort by the international community in response to the unprecedented global pandemic, the world has been developed effective, safe, life-saving vaccines that offer significant protection against the COVID-19 disease. Even better, through the biggest global logistical effort ever seen, these vaccines have been produced and delivered to countries across the world. In the space of a year, we've gone from 0 vaccines to more than 6 million shots in people's hands.
Countries that have rolled out massive vaccination programs have seen a reduction in the number of COVID-19 cases. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Zambia's Chinese debt higher than projected by the PF. HH confident of meeting 70% COVID-19 vaccination target amid skepticism. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.